And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome to Open Connection. I'm your host, Robert Pictou. The Freda School of Northwest Coast Art brings all nations together in the pursuit of higher education and sets new standards for inspiring artists. We begin today's Open Connection as Gallery Coordinator Laura McGregor reflects about the 2022 Spring Art Show at the Terrace Art Gallery.
They'd been showing a year or two before my time, and I've been here for 11 years. And there's like this knowledge and insecurity coming in. So over the years, what we've done is gone into the college as the gallery and help support the students with expectations of what will happen every February. So we tend to go in the fall and kind of get them ready. Another thing that's changed over the years is now the alumni is teaching. So they've been here just maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they're really responsive to what the artists and their students need to put on a good show. There's like a new flavor every year. So we started over 10 years ago with just having prints or paintings on paper clipped to the wall. Maybe in plastic sleeves, and then they moved into being in frames. And then the last few years what we've seen is the artwork being on the birch panels, which is really clean and beautiful. There's no matting, there's no framing. Sometimes we get like textiles incorporated or abalone embedded, and this year Carmen's work has this beautiful copper framing. So there's always just something unique every year. Storm Carroll had worked with the students up at the college and did little video clips of them working on the actual pieces we have here in the show. So member of the public can come in lieu of having that lovely opening reception, they're able to scan the QR code with their phone and then watch a little video of the artists talking about themselves and their work. So there's over 90 local artists working here, mostly Terrace, some Rupert, Kitimat, maybe as far as Prince George, but definitely that local connection. And we've really seen with the Shop Local movement the last couple of years, more and more people coming down and finding this little hidden treasure in the library basement. So I have my master's in drawing and painting, so I did come to the gallery and move to Terrace with the ambition of doing my own exhibitions. I've put a lot of passion into keeping the gallery running, and I'm a mom of 2, so I haven't done a solo exhibition, but I still do some paintings and artwork in the gift shop for sure. So this is myself here. This is linen, and it's gouache and ink on linen in a little frame. And then I also do large textile pieces. So I make masks and leggings and things like that. As far as pieces coming into the gallery, it's always dangerous when pottery comes in. My coworker and I are shopping before we're inventorying. Stephanie Anderson, a graduate of the Freda program, makes these beautiful copper and abalone pieces. So yeah, there's quite a range of what you can shop for down here. We definitely have a handful, as I'm saying, like Stephanie sells her work here in the gift shop, Jamie Davis with Jada Creations, Melody Hoy. We've got quite a few of those alumni or even current students. A gallery membership for a student is $20. So for 12 months, anything that's not on the wall that they're putting in shows, they can put in the gift shop. So Christmas is a really hit time. We've got a lot of First Nations form line Christmas cards, so those just sell themselves pretty much down here. Easily on the website, which is just www.terraceartgallery.com. We also have an active Facebook and Instagram page. So again, it's Terrace Art Gallery BC. We're here every afternoon besides Monday, so if you're popping downtown or you're going into the library, come down and see if we're open. We're here some mornings, but we're definitely here noon to 5.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Thank you for staying with us. The powerful image of a red handprint has come to symbolize the missing and murdered Indigenous women movement as a way to represent the thousands of women who have been silenced. Beyond politics and detective work, the handprint has found its way into art and fashion as a way to raise awareness. In this next segment, Tanya Gregoire shares what the red handprint means to her.
I was surprised with how much it opened it just kind of like opened me up, but like in a sense that I felt that I was kind of exposed, you know, but in a way that it's challenging because it's like a spiritual journey that I feel like I'm on. But like with that, there was, even though it was difficult, there's a lot of growth that has come from it too. My nation is Tahltan and Tlingit. My family is from the Wolf Clan, and my family is also French Canadian and Japanese. This piece I made is on fabric, so I really like to try and use as much sustainable fabric and material that comes from the land as possible. So I did try and pick an organic cotton canvas and try to do as much as I can for that. But it depicts an Indigenous woman peeling off the red hand. The red hand that signifies missing and murdered Indigenous women. And then underneath is her mouth with flowers coming from it. It's something that's really important to me, like even being an Indigenous woman growing up in Terrace, just recognizing, you know, the highway of tears and how I grew up just constantly seeing the messages of Indigenous women experiencing those things, you know, the things that they've experienced, and so I just really like the idea of that that as Indigenous women we're beyond the red hand, and we're multifaceted human beings, and that's represented by the flowers is the beauty. And yeah, I feel connected to every Indigenous woman that has experienced, you know, being the family that has experienced women being murdered or missing, but then also just like the daily kind of experiences that Indigenous women do. So I did embroider the flowers with embroidery, and it's meant to just say that, like how I said, that we're like multifaceted beings, and there's, you know, hope, desire, humor within ourselves. So that's what it represents. It's another Indigenous woman, and it's her side profile, and her hair is, I used ink made from flowers, botanical inks, and so it kind of looks like watercolor, but it's actually made from a walnut. Yeah, a walnut that I have. So I really like to pull in, materials from land. So I really like to try and use natural dyeing. I'm trying to learn natural dyeing techniques, and just even using the land-based materials to even for painting masks and carving and these paintings too. You know, if they can, to speak to their, you know, family and the community, to see if you can have, you know, support around yourself while you go through this, and to kind of go into learning about your where you come from, so that you can kind of stand on your 2 feet as much as possible when you go through this, and be grounded. I really liked for that piece. I really liked it kind of was connected to the sculpture and the carving that I've done. So oftentimes when I'm carving, you have to do a side profile, and so I really like to incorporate that sculptural piece within that and to show it on a painting. First year was last year, and it was all online last year. So this year I'm able to actually be in studio, and so I've been really appreciative of being able to be present at the school this year.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome back to Open Connection. With a wingspan of over 3 meters, the Andean condor is considered the largest flying bird in the world. Fully grown adults can stand an impressive 1.2 meters tall. This stunning creature is the largest raptor in the entire world. Our next guest shares why she combined Chilean and Nisga'a in her art.
I am Chilean on my mom's side and Nisga'a Tsimshian on my dad's side. This piece is kind of It's never been done before. It's an exploration of the Northwest Coast crest designs, the ones that are from this region. They're the 4 main ones. So this one is kind of, it's never been done before. So this is an animal that's sacred in my mom's homeland in Chile. And it basically is also connected to a prophecy that was foretold by the indigenous people of South America. The prophecy is called the eagle and the condor, and that's symbolic for the indigenous people of South America uniting with the indigenous people of North America together to bring an awareness to help save Mother Earth, like to bring a change. So that's what this piece is basically talking about. I created the design for the condor, and then around the condor is the Capigüe, which is the national flower of Chile that's dedicated to the Mapuche people. And it's symbolic for the bloodshed and the resilience that they fought against colonization. And around the entire piece is copper, and that connects to both South America, because that's where copper is mined from, and then it also connects to the Northwest Coast people here as well. So basically incorporating the copper into my work is a way to help amplify, because copper is a conductive material, so it's supposed to amplify the message and at the same time connect to both of my ancestral backgrounds. Because when I was doing my research, the condor, because I guess it's not just in Chile, but it's also in Peru, and then I think it's also like seen in other parts of South America. So when I was doing my research, I found that there's that prophecy, and then the prophecy kind of unfolded to a movement that's currently happening right now that's basically talking about the environmental issues that are happening. So when I was exploring the I guess like the background of crest pieces, I was like, maybe this is like the perfect time to introduce something different, and then at the same time something that's I guess that has like a symbolic meaning. It's the Gaboo painting, so that is dedicated to my dad's side. So when I first started my journey into reconnecting, I basically uncovered through a DNA test where my background comes from. So I made my connection to the Niska nation, and then at that time was the time that I also met my great-grandmother. So around that time is like, it was like the most, I guess, emotional experience for me, just to finally find my nation. And when I was doing the crest designs, right around the same time is when my great-grandmother passed away. And in this piece, it was basically my way of kind of like making a stronger connection, and also to just talk about the story of how when wolves, they howl in the environment, they're communicating with each other and letting them know what's going on. So this piece is kind of like my way of making a communication to my nation, and at the same time just like announcing I'm here, I finally made it home, and at the same time like just like dedicating it to my great-grandmother, because I didn't have enough time to spend with her, but this is like my way of like still being with her and still being with my nation. So that piece is dedicated to her. And the tail, like her name was Rose, so I looked for like when I was designing it, the tail just kind of turned into like foliage, and then it was like wild roses, and then it just kind of came together that way. And again, it's surrounded by copper, to just kind of speak on that. Finding my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and just having that, I guess, that connection was something that's been very important to me even since childhood, because I didn't have that connection to my father's side. It took about 20 years to find my biological father, and then another 2 years after that just to get the DNA test done, and then being in this program talking about matrilineal connections, and then even just being, I guess, immersed into the culture. It's just having that symbolic meaning of where you come from, because the matrilineal structure is you're always connected through your mother, and then me coming from a place where I don't have that matrilineal connection, she would be my next living, at the time she was my next living connection to my nation. It was just an overwhelming emotional experience, and then the journey that followed that was it basically opened me up even more in this program by I guess doing my research, and then at the same time learning from the elder that comes in and talks about traditional stories. And so this piece, like, it just really I guess, like, put a visual to that experience. Like, I started off in a different university, and that university started, like, opening up, like, who I am. And then at the time, just, I guess, like, life happened and I had to take a step back, and then made the decision which opened up the decision to apply to Freda Diesing. And that just even opened me even more up, and it basically, it gave me something that I was looking for a very long time, and that is, like, finding out that side that it took a really long time to connect to. So it's not just about the techniques, but it's also just that grounding, and that I guess that it's like it's community, and then it's also like, I want to say spiritual, because the art kind of speaks to you, and that's something that's also referenced a lot from our instructors, is that traditional Northwest Coast art and form line is a language. So being able to explore that direction, for me, I felt like it's given me a way to speak on what it is that I'm focused on. If you're curious, follow that curiosity. And then the other thing is, yeah, it's not too late to find your roots.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
The name comes from the Helsik First Nation word meaning place of the Canyon people. Kimsquit are members of the Nuxalk First Nations. In this final segment of Open Connection, a second-year student at the Freda Diesing School of Northwest Coast Art shares how Kimsquit box inspired his art.
As you see, like, they go into the black, which once you see, like, a piece, like, around, it never really flows into the black, or it never, like, flows. Yeah, it doesn't all just, like, sit in one. There always has to be, like, a negative space that you see here. And I quickly realized that when I came to Freda Diesing. My nation is Nuxalk Nation. It comes from Bella Coola. I'm from Bella Coola. From where I come from, we don't go by clans. It's more of crests. My crest would be the raven, just as my dad. My mom would be eagle whale crests. In the summer, I was working with my mentor, Elvin Mack, and he was showing me a couple of pictures from Kimsquit, and I decided that it would be cool to bring back an old rendition of this box. About this piece, it actually originally comes from Kimsquit, which is approximately 53 kilometers away from Bella Coola, but it's also home of Bella Coola as well. It's a part of the Nuxalk Nations. But this box was found in Kimsquit originally, and it is still sitting there today. Some of the elements would be like the vibrant red. It is a red that is like a perfect red. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it's a different form line totally, because our people were known to play with the form line. Still learning about Kimsquit as well, and where this box comes from, coming from Kimsquit.
And are there other members in your family that are artists? Or?
My dad was artist himself, so that's probably where all my genes come from. But in my family, there is a bunch of artists, like the Mac family. I am partially Mac. Well, I am Mac. It's just I go by my father's last name. But yeah, I have a bunch of family members that do art in itself too. I have mentors that guided me along the way with when it came to carving, working with metal, with painting too. It's just, I've come a long way that I am now. Freda Deasing helped me like with the form line and like showing me everything that flows together and comes together. It really is a really good experience to go there, because it helps me learn a lot more and what goes and what doesn't. But I think that it's helped me quite a bit in the long run. It would help me in the long run. When I am doing art, I totally see it differently, because I know I have to add the negative spaces and I know I have to work with. But I also wanted to learn like my style and how I do stuff in the New Hook style too, which is like bringing colors together and I don't know how to explain it, but like playing with the form line and cutting into the paints as well, just as you see here with the hands and the line work in here, and it all goes into like to the black. But that's how I could explain it right now in this point in time. I actually have had a couple people come up to me, and I just told them it would be the best idea ever, because once you get to learn your culture and learn where you come from, I think it's really important.
Howdy, my name is Kobe Antoine. I am a part of the Narutan Nation of Burns Lake, BC. I belong to the Damisu clan, which is the beaver clan of my nation. And I am a third year. I mainly work in red, yellow cedar and alder. And I mainly carve. I do a little bit of painting here and then, but right now I'm studying jewelry. Before this, I just knew that I was an Indigenous person carrier, and I was from the Beaver clan. And through this program, I found myself. I found who I was. I found my purpose in life. And I think that speaks wonders, and I think it's important for Indigenous youth just to find yourself if you're lost.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Open Connection. The greatest distance in the existence of man is not from here to there, but the connection from his mind to his heart. If we can conquer that distance, we can soar like an eagle and realize our immensity within. I'm Robert Pictou.